Hey everybody, it's Lynn from A Bit of Birdsong. I'm getting ready to make quite a few ATCs for the retreat that I'm hosting starting on Friday. And I just need to get it done because I do want to have some cards ready. 4, 8, 12. Okay. I think what I'm going to do for this is follow my formula for great art journal pages. And I've been so in love with this pink paint that I got at the scrap exchange. I'm going to use this as the ground floor. Let me just stop and see how much I've put down. I may not need all of this. I love that acrylic paint dries so fast. I think I say that every time I work with it, but it's true. I'm sure the tips of my fingers are probably going to be pink. Sure, and probably. Jason would have something to say about that. Is that sort of a paradox? I don't know. I want to get my sleeve in that. But let's get all of these covered. So I mailed out my journal for the collaboration, and that's on its way to Rosemary. I think that's what I was working on in the last video, is getting those pages in. Well, I didn't record the process. I just haven't had time because of working on the retreat details. But no sooner had I gotten that journal out into the mailbox than the postman or woman came around and left the next journal for step 3, which that journal was created by APG Jamie. The pages were put in by Jessica Harris, and now it's up to me to do the tucks and the pockets. So it's really a fun process. I'm loving, absolutely loving the freedom to just have artistic license, to use Jamie's words, and to pass it on to the next person. And it is amazing seeing these journals that are coming around and just watching the steps, watching everything unfold. And it's going to get more exciting every time. The first package I received was just a cover, of course, that Jessica made, and it was absolutely beautiful. And then the second journal was a cover made by Jamie with the pages by Jessica, like I've already said. But just to see those two things together. And then the next one that comes around, about a month from now, will have tucks and pockets, and I'll be sending mine out. Take about 6 months, I guess, to do the whole thing, but it's just pretty amazing, the whole thing. So I don't know that I need to just be hyper vigilant about covering every square centimeter. I think what I'm going to do is turn the dryer on for a little bit. Okay, so that side is possibly dry enough to flip over and think about the other side. The back is where it's pretty much going to be plain with my information on it, and the side we just painted is that's the side that's going to be decorated. So let's turn all of these over, think about how we want that back side to look. I think I want a little color to it, but what do I want to do? Let's see what this does. Oh, yeah, I like that. I feel like I might need a little bit of water on that. And let me just one by one put these lines on the backs of the cards. Yeah, I like that extra color in there. looks, it's kind of a graffiti look, or an urban grunge, I guess. I am learning so much from my partners in this collaboration. I've thought for a while that I wanted to use resin somehow in my bookmaking. And of course well, I won't say of course, because there are people out there who are more creative than I am. I immediately went to charms, just thinking about somehow making my own charms for journals. But then the cover I just received was created by Jamie, and I'll be showing you that soon. And part of the cover is done with resin. And I told Jamie, the last 2 times I've been to Michael's, I have had resin in my cart, and then I put it back because I thought, well, I don't really know yet what I'm going to do with it. And, you know, do I really want to do this right now? I kept putting it off. And then when I saw her cover, I was a believer. I said, the next time I'm out, I'm going to Michael's and I'm going to get some resin. Absolutely beautiful. I love this. So that water adds, it really does add something. Let's see if I can get any more color without putting the stamp pad back on there. Yeah, there's plenty of color in there. And I will dry the backs of these. I wonder if I can. That's going to have color in a way that the others don't, but that's okay. We may use this stamp again on the front. I just need to be careful because I don't want to get acrylic paint down into that. That's a recipe for ruination. Might be good the first time, but then you could definitely ruin your stamp. So this is a stamp that I bought recently at the scrap exchange. We had a huge donation of rubber stamps, and I've been putting stamps out for weeks now. Ooh, now see, that's a totally different look. I probably put too much water on there, but we can fix it. We can come back when that's dried off a little bit and stamp again. I've put together some things for door prizes at the retreat, and I'm gonna have journals on display. Kind of just thinking out loud with you all. What else am I gonna have? I'll have junk journal packs available and inspiration stations. I hope we have a great time. Okay, so something is up. There, that's better. I may have been getting too much water on there. Okay, so that is that part. Okay, 15 cards, because I do want to keep one for myself. All right, so that's the ground floor. Let me get the hair dryer out and dry these a little bit. So this repeating pattern thing, I do have a new stencil that I want to try out. I will have a couple. And I do think, what do I want? I think I want this one, and in order to make this whole process faster, let's see if we can cover several cards at one time. Let's put them all close together. It doesn't have to be perfect. And you can tell that card was wet because it curled. The others didn't curl so much. What color do I want for this? My first thought was white. And I do think that I want to go with white. Now, let me see. Let's put some white paint out here and cover that completely. And what do I want to use to put this down? I wonder if this would work, because it's nice and squishy. And it just rolls right over that stencil. You know, I just like experimenting. Sometimes I feel like I'm probably just really simple and everybody's thinking, oh, Lynn, all this stuff you're doing, we already know about that. But isn't it fun to play? No idea what this is going to look like. And my sleeve, I've got a sleeve on that hangs down. This shirt came from the thrift store. I think I paid about 25 cents for it because I paid by weight. And I do like it, but it's not convenient in some ways. All right, that worked out. We've got more layers to go. Like, I'm not blown away by that, but I'm gonna just keep on with it because we've got more layers to do, and I think it's gonna be okay. Okay, I'm gonna wipe this stencil off. And then for ephemera, I recently bought a bag of these little cutouts. Somebody took the time to cut out the postmarks, and I think these are just adorable. Quite a few of these. So I think I'm gonna glue one of these onto each card. Come back. And I don't want to drag those through the paint, but a couple of them did get, we had a couple of casualties there. They're still usable, but it's not what I intended to do. Oh, I've been working outside today. I've been working inside and outside. I was thinking about the retreat, and I know y'all are sick of hearing that word, or maybe you're not, but, and then I definitely still love to garden, so I've spent some time working in my garden today. Oh, these are so cool. So let's put one of these on each one. I probably should put them all in the same place. Let's turn that one that way, because I glued on upside down. I don't know that they all have to be identical. Hello. Jason's working outside. Every year our back porch, we have a screened-in porch, and of course the pollen just really does a number on it. So he takes everything off of the porch and just deep cleans everything. And I'm not sure, I think that's the pressure washer he's got going right now. I think he's just washing off everything that had been on the porch, like the furniture. And so things like this are really fun. It doesn't have to be fancy at all. It's just a little piece of something to remember each other. And I've already told the people who are coming to the retreat, there's no pressure. There's absolutely no pressure to make 15 of these, but people can bring business cards, they can bring, you know, whatever, and whoever wants to trade can absolutely trade. All right, look at that. So there's all 15, and again, we're not worried about perfection. This time we're not worried about perfection, we're worried about completion. And it'll be good. Art's always good. So now for the art part, I am really thinking I want to do something. You know, I could print 15 of a little original artwork. And I think that's what I might do. That would be really fun. Okay, I'm back. I went inside and printed a collage sheet with these. These are some little roses that, well, they were bigger than this. It's a painting. I shouldn't call it a painting. It's mostly doodling I did. I have no idea. A couple of years ago. And I do like the way it turned out, and I especially like the color. I think it'll be nice against this, and that pattern almost looks like a trellis. Kind of does look like a trellis. So I'm going to see how much I can get away with here as far as cutting all these out at the same time. I really hope I don't mess anything up. Trying to cut straight below the stems so I have a place to line all of these up. And will my scissors cut through this many at one time? That is the question. So I will just glue these onto the cards. This could be a little crazy. And I think it's okay if it makes the edges a little bit raggedy, because I'm gonna glue these down and I kind of want it to have a bit of texture. This is when I'm wishing that I had glued all of these things up in a corner, but you know me, I don't do a lot of planning. I just like to see how things turn out. Oh, that's cute. Well, let's just see what we end up with. So if I put that down, this does give me a chance to make each one kind of original. This is not, again, like I say all the time, this is not meant to be perfect. And we are going to be adding another layer even still. So let's get this down. And the thing about that formula, ground floor, repeating pattern, ephemera, art, and then texture, you're not limited to just stopping there. If you want to go back and add something else, you absolutely can. So see, I kind of covered it up with that one, and I may glue another one on there. I have more, which I think that's perfectly fine. You know, mass making things is the way to go. I've read before, like with businesses, if you want to make progress, don't do one little thing at a time. Devote a chunk of time to getting a lot of one thing done. And you can see how quick this adds up. You don't have to do a lot of extra thinking either. It's like, okay, this is what I'm doing now, and just do it. Yeah, that's gonna be upside down, but I don't care. I want that. I don't want to hide that really pretty postmark. And I think I need a little more glue under here for some reason. That was a thicker one, I think. Most of these were on thin, just standard paper like a normal envelope is made of. But there was one there that was really thick. Let's flip that one too, even though it's going to be upside down. Let's go ahead and do that. Now, I know that the placement of these pieces of paper on here might seem, I don't know, maybe it seems like, oh, you're not really lining those up the best way, but I'm trying to keep the stems of this flower level with the bottom of the card. And again, I didn't do a lot of, you know, laying these things out and pre-planning. Sometimes I like just to do things, just see how they turn out. It's been a little cold here, and it seems like it always gets cold. Things warm up, and then it gets cold when the dogwoods bloom, and then it gets cold when the blackberries bloom. And that's kind of where we are right now. And I got out today and went to a garden center. You know what? Maybe I will just add, I know I want another one on here. Let's put that there. All right, so that is the art portion. And for the texture, well, I love the result here. For texture, I put some of this azalea pink out and used my Tim Holtz Distress brush to splatter pink paint all over these. And I could stop right there. I like these fine the way they are, but since I'm a bit of birdsong and I've always used a little stamp, I had this, so I had this 2001 Stampin' Up! Bird stamp that I've used over and over. And then I recently found a 1998 Stampin' Up! Stamp. So I think I'm gonna stamp a bird on each one, and I think it'll help tie everything together. The question is, you know, do I want to use, I think I'm just going to use this black ink, and where do I want to put it? I think it'll help bring things together. So there's the little bird on that one. Oh yeah, I like it at the bottom there, but it doesn't have to be at the bottom every time. I'm wondering if I want to add, there's a couple of these that I think I might just come back, and I've got the extras and I want the additional layers, I think. So I'm just going to come back and add another one of these seals to a few of these. It kind of gets this point out of the way where I cut the flowers out, and the point is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's bothering me a little bit. And I might finish this up by going over the whole thing with some of my not texture paste, my what is it called? It's a distress glaze. Either that or a wax finish. Oh, I didn't put a bird on that one. I just noticed that. I'll have to put a bird there. There we go. I do want to put my birdsong stamp on the back. We'll just go right back to this black. These stamps have been just almost invaluable to me. These are the linking or the interlocking letter stamps. And I have a few words that I keep pretty much made up all the time, and then sometimes I might change it. I always keep the birdsong one for my putting my name on everything. And I think I bought this set at the Scrap Exchange years ago, like when I was still living at my old house with my kids being younger, and I have really enjoyed it. So artist trading cards are typically 3.5 inches by 2.5 inches. And I have some additional cards. These are some I bought. So it's actually got a place on the back to write some things out. And I will date the back of mine. And I'll probably take these in to the retreat in case anybody wants to use them. But 2.5 by 3.5, and these are just cut out of heavy watercolor paper. And adding the layers and the paint make them more sturdy. I could have used, I guess, a chipboard or a really heavy file folder. Not the typical manila folder, but like the old with the metal tabs. Those are almost like chipboard. But I decided just to go with this large piece of watercolor paper I had. And I do like the result. All that pink together is so pretty. Let's see about using this distress glaze. It kind of helps the acrylic paint not to have that sort of chalkboard feel too. I can't stand that feeling when acrylic paint dries on paper, and it's just something about it that I don't like. And I think some paints are worse than others. This is a really nice paint. It doesn't feel as like chalky to me as the cheap acrylic paints when they dry. So let's get all of these covered up with this glaze, and then we're going to lay them all out together on a neutral background and see how they look. All right, so let's see how they look on a background that is just clean and bright and neutral. Wow, they feel great. I still have to date the backs. Look at that though. I'm really happy with those. They're so cute. So I used the G.R.E.A.T formula just to get an art page or an art foundation, and then I went ahead and did the stamping of the little birds and then finished it off with distress glaze. And then there's the back. I've got my birdsong stamp. Yay! All right, I'm gonna put the dates on the backs of these, and I know nobody needs to sit and watch me do all that. So thank you for watching. I will be back really soon. Bye for now.